What's going on, everybody? It's the Junior Coder here with a mod reveal slash... I don't know. I'm here with SGT.GOOD18. He is the creator of this mod for the 2011 Ford Crown Vic by TDM, the Dodge 1500 by TDM, and the GMC van also by TDM. He made this skin and...
Hang on. The GMC Savannah is actually Lone Wolfie's car. Not TDM.
My apologies. But either way, SGT.GOOD18 did the Photon and the livery slash skin for these vehicles. So, anyways, really digging the wheel and edge. Really digging the wheel and ions. I mean, it's an awesome job. The skin's very simple, very clean. Textures, usually you see a lot of complicated textures, and they just kind of look all digitalized and not as clean. So, give a lot of credit to that. SGT.GOOD18 is going to tell us a little bit about this mod that he's done here. He can tell you more about it than really I can. This is my first kind of look at it technically. So, but here's the different light patterns as we're going along here. Here's code 1, code 2, code 3. Now, don't have a takedown on it, I noticed when I was going through it.
Yeah, I never could get the coding for that one, so we're without takedowns for now until I can get that added. Okay. And I actually do have 3 additional vehicles coming out, which you guys will probably be seeing shortly after I update the pack. For some reason, I don't know if any of you guys are having problems with the skin for the prisoner transport on the GMC Savannah. JR is having problems with it because, as you can see, it's just white instead of black and white.
Yeah, which that could be something on my end too. You looked at it, and all the files are in the right place, from what it sounds like. So.
Yeah, but when I went into my files, I found out that the skin was missing. But before we got to that, I started up a room by myself, and I spawned a vehicle. The skin's right there. It's perfectly fine. So I don't know if that's something related to Gmod update or something, but
yeah.
I strongly urge anyone that if you're having problems, please notify me immediately.
So, and you can simply
do not wait.
Right, and you can simply find this mod too on the workshop in Garry's mod, or in the Garry's mod workshop underneath vehicles. I simply just searched up Pine City was underneath vehicles, and Pine City was able to find it right away. So it has some different directionals as well. It was left at first, diverge. Come on, and there's right. So and left. So like I said, very nice job here. We're gonna take a look at the Dodge Ram. Different patterns for the Dodge Ram there. There was code 1, code 2, and code 3. Also, these sirens come automatic with the Federal Signal Rumbler siren. You can change sirens too if you're not a huge fan of the sirens and you don't know how to do that. That's just as simple as C, primary. Like, I like to use the 295. But simple as that. This truck also has the directionals as well. There's right or left, diverge, and right. And in all honesty, this is probably one of my all-time favorites for this GMC Savannah van. As far as police goes, very nice. Not too much lighting, but just enough.
I do want to go over the components with you guys. For the light bars I'm using, they are the Whelen Ultra Freedom, which came out with the recent, well, not recent, but it was the update for Photon. God knows when. I forgot when it was updated. God. I also added the Noble's Whelen M9s to the Savannah. 2 on each side, and there's 2 on the back doors, both flashing red and blues. And why the hell are you
Don't ask. Anyways,
So yeah, for the Dodge Ram 1500, I have the Wayland Ions, and they're doing a split between red and blues. Um, I also have dual Vipers on the back rear windshield. And as you can see, all three vehicles have the Wayland Ultra Freedom, but I am going to see if I can get some help in adding different light bars that if you guys don't want to use the Ultra Freedom, you guys can switch them and use whatever light bars you want. And so as I was saying before about the Wayland Ions, we have Wayland Ion splits for the Dodge Ram 1500, running both reds and blues. And on the back windshield, we are running Federal Signals dual Vipers, running red and blues.
Yeah, you see, I'm trying to... As he's explaining all this, and he can see it too on his side, on what it looks like, so he knows where I'm pointing everything, but I'm trying to point out to where he's talking about. Like right here on the back, the dual Vipers, and then right down here, the Wayland Ion duals, and he's also got it here in the front too. So I'm trying to point out as he's talking about them, so you guys can see the different components.
Yeah, since I wasn't able to join because for some damn reason my PC isn't fast enough.
Garry's Mod is being Garry's Mod today.
Yeah, and considering with the Garry's Mod update, it's pretty much screwed everything else up. So
yeah.
So I'm hoping that they'll find some bugs and fix them.
Yeah. So that's all on the Dodge Ram, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But I will be adding some flashing headlights and taillights along with the fog lights and reverse lights when I update the pack. So that's another thing I'll be adding.
Right, kind of like how you have here on the Crown Vic, which is our next little gem here.
Right.
As I get in the passenger side, apparently. So now we are on to the Crown Vic here, which, like we said earlier in the video, is TDM's 2011 Crown Vic that he has with the Wayland Edge Freedom Bar. Well, get on talking about some of the different components that you have on this baby.
Hang on. The stream is being weird right now, so.
Okay. I do notice that you have a couple. I do like how you have the Wayland Ion splits and the regular white Wayland Ions here around the license plate as well. That looks really good. That actually looks looks better and more. What's the word I'm looking for? It looked a lot better than you think. Like, it really gave a lot of lighting to the rear of the car without taking a rear deck bar. And that's what I really like about that one. And I also like how you put the splits in the rear window like a lot of police cars have on the rear passenger windows. So...
yeah. And I mean, basically, it's whatever I can come up with in my head. It's like, just imagine what you want your vehicle to look like and add those components onto there.
Right.
And
now,
and for those...
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, it's basically, Photon is like what JR said. It's basically a Gmod version of ELS, which the Photon lighting engine was, I think it was made by Ishmael, and I think it was with help of Super Mighty and a couple other people. I think it was
the founding fathers, as we will call them, the founding fathers of Photon.
Yeah, you could call it that, but yeah,
because it was a group effort, and when you do get to know them, they are very helpful, from what it sounds like, on helping newer people that actually do take an interest in making Photon. They do enjoy actually helping people with Photon, because that was one of the reasons they helped Z Sims. He actually got into their RP group and they taught him how to do Photon, him, Fire Team Bravo, and whatnot. One of the things I do want to point out, and it's maybe a personal preference for some people, it may be, you know, whatnot. Your light bar gives me some OCD issues. When I noticed it earlier, and the thing is I probably would have gone forever not noticing it, but because I noticed it, I cannot unnotice it. And it's just an OCD thing. The light bar is a little bit too far to the front. Most of the time I've noticed light bars are usually right there along that B post, but it might be a personal preference for you, and some people might like the light bar more far forward, and I think I know why you did it too, because if you look at how the numbering goes, the light bar sits right on top of the numbering. So I see the theory behind it and the thought process behind it. It just gives me personally OCD issues. I don't know about everybody else out there that looks at it, or like, they probably look at it and go, that's not a fucking problem at all, that's perfectly fine. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, well, with the department I live by, they actually have their light bars right there, right above the driver and passenger.
Okay. So, yeah, so it's just a personal preference for him, for Sergeant Good, because of how his police department does. So he does it just like his police department. But, yeah.
Well, not a police department, but it's a sheriff's office. And it's how they have their light bars set up, depending on what vehicle they have.
Right, and one of the police departments that are around my local area is they had the older, like the 2000 era Tahoes, the early, you know, between 2000 and like 2000, and you know, they used to have like let's say a 2006 Tahoe, and they had the old school Vector, Federal Signal Vector light bar, and they put the damn light bar on the ski rack.
Well, it really depends on what the department decides to do.
Yeah, which a lot of people hated it, and were like, no, that's not where that goes. And it's like, well, I understand why they did it is because of ease of access. In fact, their battalion vehicle has it's a Trailblazer. The fire department battalion vehicle is a Trailblazer, and it has an LED bar right on the ski rack of the Trailblazer. And I understand why they do it. It's ease of mounting. You can easily mount it right there on that ski rack, and it doesn't look too trashy, but
yeah, and plus it's easier to get to should you need to take it off and then like replace.
Which I've known they've done too, because they recently had a old Wheeling Edge bar on it. So yeah,
because some departments, when light bars are being used so much, or if there's a short, they literally end up having to take the light bar apart, and if there's a diode missing or there's diodes that don't light up anymore, they either have to order the part, or they actually just have to put a new light bulb in. Yeah, but usually they'll keep on using light bars until they don't work anymore.
Oh, absolutely. So, but all right, so that is going to do it for the Pine City Police, unless you have anything else that you want to add real fast.
Well, as I said before in the video earlier, I do have 3 additional vehicles coming out, but it's quite a surprise, and not many of you see a lot, but we got 3 additional vehicles. They are going to be unmarked units, but it's quite a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what those 3 vehicles are. All I can tell you is that they are unmarked. They are unmarked units, and it's something that you'll have to see for yourselves.
All right. And remember to keep an eye on that and the Garry's Mod Workshop. That's also where you can find these vehicles, as well as the Garry's Mod Workshop under Sergeant Good 18. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you remember, guys, and Sergeant Good, remember, if you enjoyed the video, to leave a like down below, and as always, click that subscribe button and click the bell for any notifications of any live streams that I will be doing or any other videos that I post. And as always, share with your friends, family, coworkers, and all that stuff. I will see you guys all in the next video.
See ya.